Hey guys, welcome back to the Crème De La Prem podcast, World Cup edition. And a lot has happened since we last spoke. A lot of action, a lot of knockout games have passed, and we're already in the quarters. By the way, we just watched France and Morocco last night, so we got Spain and Belgium coming up. So we're well into the late stages now, and it's been a lot of good fun, a lot of great games, a lot of drama and action to talk about. So, Waleed, you ready to get into it?
Si, hue, I,
The fuck are you saying?
ya.
Bro turned into an alien.
I'm trying to think of all the languages that say, and they say how they say yes.
Okay. I think one place where we can start is some of the big talking points, or like the major upsets. Some of the teams that we thought would do better had some we had some shocking exits pretty early on. Like off the top of the head, Germany and Holland both got knocked out in the first stage of the knockouts. What did you think went wrong for them? Why did it all fall apart?
I mean, maybe it's too simple of an answer, but it's both of their managers are not up to scratch. I mean,
Yeah, but even then, couldn't you just sit like I mean, how good of a manager is the Paraguay manager? How good of a manager is the Morocco manager?
well, the Moroccan players are very good together. You know, they play very good football. We saw them mostly dominate against Brazil, I would say, and Netherlands, they don't necessarily, even though they have De Jong and Gravenberch and Reinders, they don't necessarily seem like a team that's like every time we watch them this World Cup, they haven't necessarily dominated possession and been like free flowing, tiki
Hmm.
taka, anything like that. They haven't, and like we saw that in the game against Morocco. Morocco had the most of the ball.
Yeah, I think in that game for some reason after Netherlands went 1-0 up, they just sat back and allowed pressure to come onto them. They let Morocco have all the ball and they put themselves in some difficult positions to defend. And then at the very end, Morocco got their breakthrough and went to extra times, and then obviously Holland went out on pens.
Yeah, that game was a blur for me. I mean,
Yeah, you were half asleep half the time, so yeah. But yeah, a similar kind of story for Germany and Paraguay. Paraguay took the lead. They did their usual South American antics of, making it super difficult for Germany to do anything, not even just like attack or like keep the ball, but just in general like disrupting the flow of the game, making small things break up play and things like that.
I
They
mean,
tried to do it. They tried to do it against France. France some managed to get by them, but Germany, I will say, in their case, they had a controversial goal disallowed in extra time.
you said it was a foul.
I thought it was a correct decision, but a lot of people
No, it's not. I
disagreed.
don't think it's a correct decision at all.
Well, I mean, even
What? It's so soft. The goalkeeper falls in the opposite direction that the player actually touches him.
but it's not about that, Willie.
What
It's
do you mean
about
it's
the
not
fact
about
that
that? He's doing it to
it's a
buy a foul.
yeah, but but it is a foul. Even if he didn't do enough to foul him, he was literally the German attacker. I
So
can't
can I
remember who it
ask
was.
why? Why is it that I'm allowed to fall over and get up and still try to make the save? So but I can have
Well,
my
he has
cake
to
and eat
keep
it too.
playing.
No,
The
I can.
ball,
No, I
the
can't.
ref has
You
to
can't
whistle,
have.
no?
You can't have your cake and eat it too. Either it's a
No, but
foul.
Willie,
Either you've
you
been
just said
fouled,
he's
or it's you play on and you're trying to save a
yeah, but
goal.
he did play on then, didn't he? Then
No, he
got up
went
and
down. Obviously, saw the play was continuing. Got up straight
yeah,
away.
so he had to keep playing. So he did that
So he
then.
was fine to continue trying saving the ball. No.
But it doesn't mean it's not a foul.
Come on, man. It was
Well,
so
you have to play to
soft.
the whistle. In any case, Waleed, you can't, as an attacker on a corner, you can't just not play the ball. The guy's literally just staring at the goalkeeper with his arms around him. Like, it's a foul. You can't block the keeper like that, especially when the ball is in play.
So then, why were those given as fouls, and then everything that we did with in our games in Iraq, none of them were fouls on the
Yeah,
keeper.
look, I agree. The consistency is whack, and we've seen it throughout the tournament so far. We'll get onto some of the controversial games. Like the refereeing standard has been well below what it is. There's been a lot
I
of
don't think it's been that.
controversial.
I don't think it's been that bad. I think
Bro,
the referees.
there's been so many non-calls and
Yeah, but
non-decisions
that's
and
something that the referees have obviously. They've just been instructed to let the games flow.
no, but bro, like some of the like
But they
the
are
red
picking and
cards not
choosing.
given or the penalties not given. It's like, bro, these are
They,
clear as day.
yeah,
Like
they are.
this is not
They
like
are weirdly like picking and choosing their moments to enforce.
yeah, and it's not like it's a preference or like a tolerance kind of thing. This is just blatant non-refereeing, bro, at this point.
Yeah.
But anyway, we also saw some teams make some good runs in this tournament. We saw Canada get to the next round. We saw who else did we see?
You guys are Canadian
Belgium.
heroes.
Belgium have made a bit of a run. They beat Senegal in extra time, which
Uh,
was a crazy game. We saw them overcome the USA, who try as they might, Donald Trump try as he might to try and influence the game with that bullshit corruption, blatant corruption of trying to get Balogun, and they succeeded, obviously, overturning Balogun's red card in the game before and allowing him to play. It didn't matter in the end, but this tournament has been marred by so many stuff happening over above the tournament, like just putting their hands and deciding who gets preferential treatment and who doesn't, and things like that. But fair play to Belgium. They've done pretty well since the group stages. They've looked, I'd say, a pretty decent side.
It's like a 180.
Yeah.
They
I mean, you have to give credit to the manager. He's made some big decisions.
He made big decisions. Well, you could say he made big
dropping
decisions in the game against
De
Senegal.
Bruyne. Exactly. Yeah, that one. Yeah, with his subs, and then the next game in against USA, he dropped De Bruyne, Doku, and
Yeah,
Lukaku. They didn't play.
he rewarded the players that saved them against Senegal.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't know how far it's going to take them against Spain. I still expect Spain to fully be able to take care of them without much issue. But I don't think anything's possible, really.
I mean, with that defense, surely Spain.
Yeah, they'll still struggle to keep out Spain. Otherwise, we saw the end of CR7's World Cup dream, and he's pretty much come out and said that was his last World Cup. I think, look, we knew that, Roberto Martinez and the team have been underwhelming.
We're not gonna come here and act like Ronaldo is the reason they're out of the tournament. I'm sorry, because we all.
I'm not saying 100%.
It's not even.
He played a good deal, and he is one of the major problems in why.
It's not major. It's not a major problem. Why? Not major.
Waleed, the guy is 41 years old, bro. Playing up top in a demanding position when you need someone to be able to run, to move, to peel off a defender, to attack, to press, to do all of these things.
But you saw him peel off a defender and score a really good offside goal in that knockout game against Croatia.
I agree. In that game, he looked pretty decent. But you saw the impact of Ramos straight after when he scored the winner. Against Portugal, he didn't even get any game time, Ramos.
Okay, why? The goal that Ramos scored, do you think it's impossible for Ronaldo to score this goal?
I mean, he hasn't done it.
But the players finally put the ball in the right spot, and he headed the ball in. How much work is there involved in that from Ramos's end?
Yeah, well, you need to have the movement and the run in the beginning to be able to even do that. Like the positioning of a striker is really important. Like a midfield, like as much as we're like there's been a lot of criticism on Portugal's midfield not turning up. Like as a midfielder, you can only create if there's an opening or a space. Yeah, you can try and force it, but if you're not getting any kind of movement up top from either Ronaldo or the wingers, then there's not much you can do. You can just go back and forth, which is what we saw. Like Spain is a good example of how important movement is. Like we can say Oyarzabal and Baena are nothing special, really. Same goes for Ferran Torres. But because they work cohesively in the attack, like the movement is really good. They will come back.
Bro,
if they
it's easy
need
to say all of this when they have Lamine Yamal.
Yeah, but Portugal have Bruno Fernandes, Vitinha,
Yeah, and they look like
Neves,
ass.
Rafael Leao.
They played horribly the whole tournament.
And part of it is on the manager, and part of it also is because the tools they have up front don't allow them to be able to do anything. If it goes both ways, Waleed.
I don't know. They're just honestly the one thing I can maybe say you in this hypothetically you could blame Ronaldo for the most part is if for in fact we always wondering why are these managers in charge of Portugal? Why did they give Roberto Martinez the job? Someone like that.
It's because they will agree to play
and it's because
Ronaldo.
they're willing to
Exactly.
they're like happy and willing to play Ronaldo.
They're yes men.
Probably. I think that's probably true actually because in all honesty like if we're talking about the last since the last World Cup till now, since last World Cup till now, the person who should have been leading the line for Portugal was Jota, and he would have been much better.
I agree. But look, I mean, since then, the fallout has been strong on all of these major teams that have been knocked out. We've seen Nagelsmann leave.
Sacked.
We've seen Martinez leave. We've seen
Coleman leave.
Coleman leave. So there's been a lot of repercussions. So we'll see how
Senegal are in upheaval
Senegal are in a freaking hoopla they've got over there. Um,
6 months after winning AFCON.
yeah, I think the Algeria coach is under a lot of pressure. We've seen Brazil. Brazil. Let's talk about Brazil. So they got through against Japan, got there in the end to get through after going down, and then a Norway game. Holy crap, this was a game.
We should have seen the signs, Loki. If you're relying on Gabriel
Yeah, I
Martinelli,
know we talked about it. Yeah,
I mean, to be fair, Gabriel Martinelli did well to score his goal. I'm not gonna diss him for them relying on him in that
yeah.
moment, but in general,
I
they're
think in that Japan game they showed enough to suggest like, okay, maybe they can turn around and do something here.
and they showed the
But again,
complete opposite against Norway.
yeah, man, it was so strange. I thought Norway would be the ones like playing a bit deeper, not trying to,
What's
hog the
funny
ball,
is
trying to make advantage of their pace and power.
What's
But
funny is in that game, in the first like 5-10 minutes, we saw Norway about to like basically kill Brazil with the way they were playing. And then it's like for the whole rest, like the next hour, they just didn't do that anymore. And then they created those two chances for Holland. Or they created their
yeah,
first chance for Holland and Holland did
it was
something.
it was a weird game in terms of like how it played out.
I would say the
Like
surprising part was actually Neymar was one of the more impressive looking players when he was on the pitch compared to the rest of Brazil's players. Do you remember Vinny doing
yeah,
anything? Besides when did he win he didn't even did he win?
no,
He didn't even win the
Vinny,
penalty. We
I
forgot about
can't
the
remember
penalty, bro.
honestly. Yeah, no, he did win the penalty.
No, it was Cunha.
Was it Cunha?
Yes.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. I think he did set up. He did set up some of the players. I can't remember who. But it was really strange decision to see Bruno G take that penalty. Like especially when you have Vinny there. Like
No,
I
but
get
we
he's
saw
not
what
the
happened.
best.
Now Ancelotti says after the game, he's the fourth choice taker, and the other three choices were not on the pitch.
Yeah.
A player who's taken three
Still,
penalties.
I can't
To be
believe.
honest, why I don't want to blame him too much for not choosing Vinny specifically. I understand the Bruno. Like now, it seems easy to say Bruno is the wrong choice, but I also don't want to say it means Vinny was the right choice. Why he managed Vinny for several years, and we've seen. And I have a vast recollection. I remember very vividly Vinny missing several penalties. Like he is not a good penalty taker.
Yeah, yeah, I know. I was mentioning that. Still, though, you would expect someone who like thinks of himself as a Ballon d'Or worthy player to not step up in that moment, or like step up in general and say
He's
like,
not going
"Hey,
to force
actually,
himself to take the penalty. Obviously, it's
no,
Ancelotti's
no, not
choice.
in that moment." But I imagine like when they're saying like these are our pen takers, he'd be like, "Hey, bro, why am I not? Why am I not amongst
He
us?
was fifth.
This guy's taken 3 pens his whole
But
career."
he was fifth. He was the next one after Bruno G. If Bruno G was off the
Yeah,
pitch, it was going to be Vinny.
but yeah, it was a poor pen, and
I swear
then
Cunha's good
no,
at penalties, or has taken penalties at
I have
least.
no idea honestly. But from that moment, Norway just went strength to strength, and then the last 15 minutes is when this game really lit up, and Holland just freaking demolished them single-handedly.
He really did.
They did.
Yeah, that second goal was genuinely like that. That second goal was. It's easy to say, but it's the realization that Brazil are going out to Norway. It was an insane goal. Holland had all the composure and the confidence to do that. He's like it's completely opposite of Brazil, like we were saying. Like he literally imagine being at the edge of the box. The goalkeeper you're facing is Alisson, the best goalkeeper in the world. You're outside the box and you smacked it through whose legs was it? Marquinhos? Through the
I
legs,
think so.
bottom corner in the 90th minute,
Yeah, he fizzed that.
and then he walks away.
I think that's also like one of the only times I've ever seen Holland score from outside the box. It's crazy.
To be fair, he has done that quite a bit, but but it's not
I've
his.
hardly ever seen him
But yeah,
shoot like that.
he's not. It's not his average, obviously, because he's
Yeah.
always has to be in the penalty box.
But his first goal, he absolutely dominated uh, Gabriel in the air.
Oh yeah, Gabriel got bullied, bro.
But he's having a tournament and a half in Holland. He's like third, I think, in the goal ranking
If you
so
want to, if
far.
we're being honest, if we're looking at the scenarios that every player is, the context of every player's team and everything, he's having the most impressive performance of the whole World Cup.
Relative to his squad, but I think Mbappe and France in general, like
Yeah,
I
but
get it
France are
because
crazy.
France are crazy in their stack, but Mbappe is still like leading the way, and he's the one who's not necessarily dragging, but he's like
We wishing or dragging?
like he's the one that's leading that team uh, and like making things happen. Like every time he gets the ball, he's making things happen.
What
And
what things is he making happen? For example, nothing. No, but seriously, I think I think more impressive as well is Mbappe also has that the composure and confidence after missing that penalty against Morocco to score a goal like one of the best goals of the tournament. He doesn't
even
stop.
even 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 the game before against Paraguay, like it was like 60th minute or something when they got that pen. Up until that point, they were getting frustrated, and the French weren't buying into the or like getting goaded by the Paraguayan team. I know like at least they got a yellow, but they were like trying as their best not to get involved in the antics and fall for their like antics on the pitch. Um, and you saw that after when they won, they were like giving them so much shit after they scored, and it was running down the clock, and like the France were giving Paraguay a taste of their own medicine. So I think what impresses me the most is France is like they have so many ways to win. They're not afraid to get dirty and be patient and stick it out.
Do they have
They
so
can
many ways
blitz
to win,
you.
or is it always Mbappe?
Yeah, dude, no, dude, they've got so many tools.
It's not.
Like,
I'm not saying they don't have other great. Obviously, they have many great players, but I'm saying like when you look at who's winning them every game, it's literally Mbappe, bro.
yeah, I mean, he's the focal point, but like, I'm talking about like the way they play. Like, they can control the game, they can counter, they can blitz you, and then they can defend perfectly fine. Like, they're showing
I
so
mean,
many
it's
sides to
easy
their
to.
game.
In terms of the Paraguay game, it's easy to think they can control the game and get through it.
Not just Paraguay against
Realistically, the
Sweden.
Paraguay game, they really didn't do much. They managed. They obviously forced a mistake. That play, Diego Gomez made a really stupid
That's what I'm
mistake.
saying. They remained patient. They
Yeah,
didn't
it's
get
not like, but they
sucked
didn't necessarily
into.
give anything away.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, from both ends, they were patient and they didn't panic. They just remained on course and stuck to their game plan. And like against Morocco, we saw Morocco held the ball for like it was an even amount of possession. They had a lot of passes, but they didn't do anything with it. Whereas France, with all of like with like the same amount of passing and possession, they create so many chances. They were like they know what to do with the ball. Like they make the most of what they got.
Yeah.
Yeah. Looking elsewhere, we saw in terms of another big team, uh, you know, getting pretty far. We've seen now. I mean, we talked about them roughly a bit. Spain, so far, have yet to concede a goal. They're looking maybe not at their peak, but they're doing
No, they
enough,
don't
and
look. They
they're
haven't looked at their peak since the group stage.
yeah. But I don't think they've had to be against Austria. It was a cakewalk. Against Portugal, they also didn't have to deal with too much defensively, and they just again played a patient game, stuck to their game plan, and they also have some good depth, like so the manager bringing on Marino, who got the goal.
Yeah, it was a really
So
good. And
yeah,
Varane, who also got the assist, who's also a sub.
exactly. Yeah. So they're gonna. I think they're just one of those teams similar to France, where like when they need to turn it on, I think they'll be able to turn it on.
Yeah, it's shaping
Yeah.
up to be a very interesting semi-final probably between them two.
Yeah. If they get through, yeah. Yeah, that's going to be one of the ties of the tournament.
Mm. Elsewhere, we have the people who want it to come home when they go home.
Oh, England?
Yeah. Who else is it?
All right, well, let's talk about England. So
So they
they
obviously had the
managed.
game of the tournament by far.
Well, okay, well, we'll get to that. They had uh the Congo. We'll see now.
Oh, that was
They
a
were up
crazy.
against
Yeah, that was an interesting
Congo.
game.
They were almost on the verge of an exit there for a good like 70 minutes. Congo were leading that game and were looking dangerous in that game, and it really looked like England could not get through. The goalkeeper was having a game of his life, and Harry Kane came to the rescue, took some good goals, and they got through. And then, well, here we go. The game against Mexico. What a game this! What a game this was!
Was there many controversial decisions in this game? I don't think so.
There was a no. I don't know about controversial, but there was
There's a lot
a
of big
lot of
decisions, but not
decisions.
crazy decisions.
Yeah,
Or like not like wrong
yeah.
decisions.
I would say so. Yeah, I would agree with that. Um, Look, I mean, fair play to England. They were in the belly of the beast, in the lion's den in Mexico at the Azteca, who against the Mexico team that were feeling themselves. They hadn't conceded yet. They had a lot of support. They had a lot of confidence in themselves as well. And then fair play, like fair play to some of the players on England, like Jude Bellingham stepped
Yeah,
up on both sides.
the story of this game was Bellingham. He won them the game.
Yeah, he got his 2 goals in quick succession in
And then he
around
got
like
that
the
crazy
30th
and then
minute.
he got that crazy last ditch tackle to stop the equalizer.
Yeah, yeah, and yeah, just when you thought like England, okay, they've got 2-0, it's not even the end of the first half. They can just coast now. Not necessarily coast, but like they can see off this game. But Mexico turned it around, even like that first half alone, and they piled on the pressure. They got their goal, and it looked like they were going to get another one if it wasn't for what you were saying about Bellingham coming in last ditch to clear the ball. And then we saw again Mexico coming out strong in the second half. Was it? Did they get the red card?
So it was
early on?
2-1.
It was 50
It was
something minute.
2-1.
It was 2-1.
Early in the second half, Kwanzaa red card.
Kwanzaa got a red card, yeah, which I feel was the correct decision.
And then maybe 2-3 minutes later, it was, or maybe 5 minutes later, it was the England penalty, Harry Kane.
Yes, that's right, yeah.
I'm struggling.
It was
Okay, I'm
played-
struggling to remember now. How did they win that penalty?
It was a ball over the top. The defender didn't get the ball in the air because he was like kind of fighting with Harry Kane in the air. Missed the ball, and then Gordon ran onto it, took it around the keeper. The keeper came out charging, and brought him down.
So it wasn't one of those where he like leaves his foot dangling. It's Gordon, bro. I don't trust this guy.
I think
for
it
one
was
second.
a little bit, but like I think he pretty much cleared him out.
But anyway, and then
Um,
Harry Kane scores, and then Harry Kane gives away the penalty.
yeah, that they took a long time on that one.
Yeah, because it happened like I think the ball was still in play for a while.
Yeah, but it was such a shame. Like even after Mexico got that second goal from the spot, like as much as they were probing and going for it, like when England decided to shut up shop,
They
like,
had no
it seemed
answer.
like Mexico had no idea what to do.
I
They were
don't know.
just panicking.
Again, by the way, so now okay, now we can say I don't know why he took off Quinones. I remember you even didn't even realize he was taken off until like way later, and you're like, why is he not on the pitch?
Yeah,
You're literally lobbing the ball
yeah,
into
it
a
was
bunch
just
of
so weird.
people half his height.
Yeah, I couldn't understand what they were trying to do. Were they trying to go out wide and pump balls into the box, or were they going to try and go through the middle? I don't know. They just didn't know what they were doing.
Yeah, it was a really tired last like 30 minutes of the game. Like genuinely, we saw like nothing happen for 30 minutes. Because there was
Yeah.
11 minutes added. So
Yeah, there was a lot of added time.
almost
True.
pretty much almost from the second Mexican goal onwards, literally nothing happened.
Mm. I mean, fair enough to England.
I feel like they're gonna be
They
really confident now. They
yeah, they
they
should
also
be.
looked
They
very
dealt
good
with
in
a
the
lot.
first. They looked very good in general for the first 40 minutes.
Mhm. Yeah, that's true. Like I think they'll take a lot from that performance, like that managed to see it out, being a man down. But now their reward is Norway up against a Holland in full flight.
Mm. That's
But I think for England, Norway for Norway, England is a tougher matchup for them than Brazil
yeah, for sure.
because Brazil, they don't have that side to them that England do. Like England will be able to soak up a lot more pressure than Brazil did. They've got pacey players on the wing that can exploit Norway. So it'll be interesting to see how both teams go into this game. Like, is Norway going to try and do the same thing as Brazil and control and try and
Well, maybe
do that
this is the thing.
patient game?
Maybe England are just gonna let them because they don't mind doing
Well,
that.
yeah, that would be the sensible thing. Don't give them space. Don't let Holland run into the dangerous areas. Don't let them. Don't give him this, like, cut off the service, and just spring a counter on the break. Who else we got? We got, oh my God, talk about controversy. Talk about one of the games of the tournament. Okay, we're gonna move on to Argentina, who looked like they were smooth sailing in the groups, and they looked like to be like on for
They were
another
like
final
in
appearance.
terms of like all of the collective group stage performances. When you put them all together on average, it seemed like Argentina had the best one, even better than France.
Arguably, yeah, you could say. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Against Cape Verde,
Oh my God.
they took the lead, and they looked like they were like they looked like they were in charge in that game. I wouldn't say they were like they were desperate in that game up until Cape Verde came back in. But for large parts of the game, Argentina were the ones obviously trying to get the breakthrough. They got their breakthrough, and it feels like they just set off the accelerator, and
Yeah. I think
Cape Verde managed to exploit a gap in their defense, and
I think
they made it a really interesting
this
game.
game really exposed that Argentina's defense is really lacking. I mean, it was something you could look at going into the tournament. Like even last tournament when they won, you could have said honestly, like when you look at the final and semifinal in isolation, those games were easily won and almost thrown away completely by the defense. And it's happening again.
Yeah,
And it's even
they're
worse
prone
now.
to they're prone to switching off.
Especially
Like
that first
like you
Cape
said in
Verde
the last
goal.
tournament.
That first Cape Verde goal was insane. How easily it was for him to find a space in the box and just get a shot off.
Like you were saying about the last tournament, they had that game against Netherlands. They were up 2-0. Looked like they were fine. In the last 10 minutes, they throw it away, 2-2. They had to go to extra time. Same thing in the final. They were up 2-0. It looked like it
It's
was going to
done.
be a simple task for them in the final.
Mm.
And then Mbappe came and they, threw it away in that game. They managed to win, obviously, but
And now
they
they've
are prone
called.
to doing this.
They've brought the same exact defense from that World Cup. This defense is now 4 years older, 4 years worse, by the way. Because since then, Lisandro Martinez been injured
Has
a
barely
lot.
played.
Been injured a lot. Finished 15th as well.
Romero,
Romero, back to back
Romero's been
17th placed. Also
yeah.
been injured a lot. So this is
They have their frailties. They have
but
their
they've
frailties
but
for
obviously
sure.
it's easy to say that because the teams they face, I don't know. It's also other teams have failed to perform where they should have faced right now in these stages, but they're probably gonna make the semifinal because now they've got Switzerland.
I imagine, yeah.
Where they should have had Portugal, they have Switzerland. And
Oh yeah, this is
honestly,
another.
Portugal absolutely robbed us of an all-timer game. And genuinely, when I think about it now, honestly, I think Portugal would have beat them.
They could have. Yeah, I mean the thing is, like you're saying, they haven't. They've allowed these lesser quality teams, to be able to exploit them, and they've got off lightly against Cape Verde in Egypt. We'll come to that game in a bit.
I think physically, it's been challenging for them. Like I think that's what's been catching them
Yeah,
out, is they're nowhere near as quick as these other teams.
that's right. Yeah,
They've been
but
hit on the
I think you
transition
have to
every
say,
game.
yeah, I think you have to say though something about their mentality. Like you have to give them credit for being so resolute and being like, okay, we've been through this before, and
I don't know, man.
they know what to
Messi
do.
seemed like he was pretty resigned to losing against Egypt.
Okay, let's talk about the Egypt game. Egypt storm out to a 1-0 lead pretty early. Uh, it seems like Argentina were shell shocked. They couldn't. They were really struggling to break down Egypt. Then
Messi misses a penalty.
uh, Messi misses a penalty. Exactly. Yeah. So there's a lot playing on their minds. They're really like. I think they were really. I think they honestly, like you said when we were watching, they honestly believed when it became 2-0. They honestly believed that they were going to go out. I think. Like they were struggling. They were kind of panicking a bit. They didn't know what to do. They were really didn't have any avenue into creating chances. Like
And
we
this
saw, like
scenario is everyone who's watched Egypt for the last however many tournaments over the last however many years, you know that this exact scenario is Egypt's bread and butter. Is parking the bus. They do it like
yeah.
so much better than everyone else. So I don't know why, but they do.
Hmm.
And it somehow all
Yeah,
unraveled.
it could have, yeah, they are unraveled, but it could have been three. They had a very controversial goal disallowed, and bro, the fallout from all of these decisions and all the things that happened in this game over here and in the Middle East in general has been insane. Like people crashing out, the Egyptian team crashed out. Everyone at home was crashing out, and yeah, um,
I think
with that, it's like
there's a lot of things. It's not even just the VAR decisions. It's also this is the thing that people sometimes underestimate. Besides the VAR decisions and we're looking at how much has the refereeing affected the game. If the Argentinian players are getting yellow carded like they should with their antics and the way some of their fouls and all that, The game is most likely played in a completely different manner by some of these players. Is Romero going to be throwing himself about like he always does if he gets a yellow for that awful challenge on Salah? Who was that? Who someone literally shoved a Egyptian player in his face, not even
I think
looked
it
at.
was nah. Well, I mean, I saw
Oh,
that
Lautaro
Samoa
shoved
did,
the
but
goalkeeper off the ball, not a yellow.
yeah. Look, I will say there were some inconsistencies in the refereeing in that game. For sure, you, I would agree that it favored Argentina, the small stuff. But I'd say, and I will 100% say that the goal that was disallowed for Egypt shouldn't have been disallowed.
When you
Like,
look at
even if
the
you think it's
context of the whole
even if you
tournament,
think it's
even in that game, the way it was being refereed.
yeah, like even if you think that it was a foul, it was on the other side of the pitch completely. It took him about 15, 20 seconds for the goal to happen. And at that point, you can say there was multiple instances where Argentina could have intercepted the ball, they could have taken it, they could have fouled, they could have done something to prevent it from happening. So they were really hard done by from that standpoint. But again, I will say this, I've said this a lot, uh, outside of this podcast, obviously. 2-0, you're up 2-0, there's 10 minutes left. Even if you take away the goal that they should have had, 2-0 is you can't
Actually,
ask for a better scenario.
in the context of when the first goal was scored and how much added time there was, it almost works out to 20 minutes. But same point.
Yeah. But that was after we saw all the goals that happened and
Yeah.
everything like that. I don't think it would have been that long if we didn't see all those goals from Argentina.
Yeah.
But with that being said, you are in the perfect scenario right now. You're 2-0 up, there's 10 minutes left. These guys are struggling, they don't know what to do. Like 99% of the time, Egypt should be winning that game. I don't care. I don't care if the referees are fucking you over. I don't care if you've had a goal disallowed, you should be 3-0 up. You're 2-0 up, you see it out.
But
you-
3-0, they
you
won.
don't
They
give-
3-0, they won the game. But we can agree on that.
Of course, I agree. But it goes from 100% to 99%, even if they're 2-0.
Okay, not 99.
Like, bro, I guarantee you, if I haven't looked into it, but like I bet you, if you go to like statisticians or whatever, they will say the likelihood of Argentina not just getting back into the game, winning the game from that point in at the 80th minute, they're 2-0 down. I bet you the chances of them winning that game in normal time would have been 1%, maybe even less. There's no way Egypt should have lost that game. But
The first goal is obviously embarrassing defensively.
well, let's talk about. So we saw that they were struggling through that game. Messi, being the genius that he is, he realizes, okay, we've been doing this through the middle all this time. It's not working. We need something to happen on the wing. So he goes out on the right, and he starts carving out opportunities, playing in balls across, trying to split open the defense, and it finally pays off for that goal, where for some reason these Egyptian defenders, after 80 minutes of dogging it out, of clearing everything, of snuffing out everything, they just switch off and allow Romero to somehow score.
Yeah, the
I don't-
defender in
like,
front
I'm sorry, the referee did not
mistimes his jump completely, and the defender behind him just doesn't want to track Romero.
Yeah, it was bizarre. Like, I'm sorry, but the referee has nothing to do with that goal. He has nothing to do with the second goal where they leave Messi unmarked in the box completely. And what a freaking finish it was from him to be able to, from that angle. I saw you. Have you seen these clips of like?
The like
I can't-
3D angle.
Yeah, like
Like
from
a
the
model.
player's perspective. I don't know who's doing it.
It's
I think
BBC.
It's BBC, right? Yeah. BBC. They showed the one for Messi. It's actually insane from his perspective how he pulled that off
Yeah,
because he's got the ball. I thought it was a lot closer.
he's got a third eye.
No, but I thought when he shot it, I thought he was a lot closer. He's actually quite far. Well, he conjures up a finish in that scenario, but even from the first goal, Egypt, the players looked like their heads dropped. They looked like they
Tired.
caved.
They stopped running as much.
It caught up with them. I guess the tiredness, but still, like they didn't get themselves back into their shape. Their mentality was gone.
At 2-2, the 70 million
And
pound,
then a 2-2.
300k a week player, Omar
yeah.
Marmoush, takes the ball off of Mohamed Salah. Decides he doesn't want to play a good pass. He plays for Man City. He played for Guardiola. He can't pass the ball. معلش يعني ايش تسوي؟ انت ايش تسوي؟
Honestly.
انت ايش تسوي؟
That's another thing. It's like some of the subs you have to question them a bit. Like the Marmoush one, he dropped him from the beginning, and
He
it
dropped
looked
him
like it was
because
paying
he
off.
finally decided you've been literally holding us back all tournament, and now we're about to play
Yeah,
Argentina. I'm not gonna let you mess this up. And he
yeah,
wasn't the first, and he wasn't even the second. I think maybe he was the third sub
exactly. Yeah,
after 2-1.
after 2-1. Yeah, exactly. So he kind of disrupts their attack himself when he has like a great chance there on there. They break away Egypt. You have a perfect opportunity on the break. You've got 4v2. Marmoush has options. He
No, he
can
doesn't
even
even
just
have options. He has one option that's wide open.
no, I said like he could pass the ball, and he honestly, if you look at it, he could have just breezed past the last defender, which was Paredes, because he looked like he committed Paredes to that pass, and he intercepted it, and lo and behold, uh, it came back to bite them in the ass,
Yeah,
because
because
again,
they then had the ball, started flinging themselves forward, and somehow, I guess maybe it's from lack of stamina at this point in the game, they lose the ball, and there's a chasm between the two center backs and the rest of the Egyptian players.
that's
And
what I
what
can't understand.
and what ends up happening is Lautaro puts in pinpoint perfect cross, and it's an absolutely gorgeous, Hila. It's an absolutely gorgeous header from Enzo Haramat. Two bastards, bro.
Yeah, I can't understand how you've, as the manager, have allowed your team to commit that many men forward in the dying minutes of the game when you could have just like collected yourselves and be like, okay, let's see it out. We'll get the extra time and we'll collect ourselves and we'll go again and we'll try and maybe play for penalties or we do something to get back the lead. Not in the last couple of minutes. After all of that, you go and do some brain dead decision like that and you allow Argentina to go off and win the
Till
game.
now, I don't really understand what the fullbacks were doing up the pitch,
I don't know.
and whoever their center
I don't
and
know.
whoever their CDM or CDMs were, where they are, I don't know.
It is mind-boggling the decision making in this game from Egypt's side after doing so well for 80 minutes. Like they 100% deserve to win that game. And I know the refereeing on that chance just before Argentina scored the third one, where it looked like Salah could have had a pen. When I saw it, when we saw it, we all agreed that it wasn't enough for a pen.
Mm.
And Salah himself didn't call for a pen. And yeah, like I think at the end of the day, Egypt have only themselves to blame for those goals that they conceded. As much as the referee was a prick to them, the
Yeah,
major decisions were, I think, of their own making.
yeah. And we move on.
Like I was saying, yeah, I think we should give a lot of credit to some of these teams like Cape Verde and Egypt. They both reached the knockout for the first time. Egypt got their first win in a knockout for the first time. So as much as it is painful for them, I think they'll be really happy they got this far. And yeah, I mean, these kinds of teams have made the World Cup this year, honestly.
For what we thought was going to be a dead round of 32 because it's too many teams, we thought, at least in the initial
Hmm.
making of this tournament, it was literally like non-stop action from round of 32 to round of 16.
It was, man, and there were so many like last minute winners, last minute equalizers, um, crazy extra times, crazy penalties. Like, well, we had one such instance in the Colombia versus Switzerland. I was so upset for
That
Colombia,
was
man.
yeah, we didn't even talk about them.
Like they breezed the groups. They looked so good. As much as they were good, they were wasteful a lot in a lot of these matches, and that came back to bite them against Switzerland because Switzerland play haram ball. Let's be fair.
Hmm.
They that game was so dead.
It
We were
was
watching for like
genuinely,
2 hours,
I felt like I blinked and the game was
and
over
the
and it was
penalties
going to
happened.
penalties.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like Colombia weren't good enough in that game, to be fair.
But
Honestly,
it's not like Switzerland did much to win it anyway.
yeah, agreed. But I think Colombia will be really hard on themselves because they should not have let that get away from them, and they should have done a lot better. They had a couple of big chances in extra time where they hit the crossbar, and there was that guy at the end, Campaz, who was through on goal from a mistake at the back from Switzerland. and he should have buried it. But yeah, some of the penalties were woeful, as they have been in some other of these shootouts. But yeah, I think that's the biggest thing for Colombia is that they've been so wasteful this whole tournament. Not just in the games that this game against Switzerland, but even the games that they won.
Yeah. So now
And
we've
it's
got
actually shaped up kind of annoyingly because now we had 6 teams in the quarterfinals that are from Europe, and only 2 outside. One being Argentina in South America, and one being Morocco from Africa, who are now out.
mm,
So it's actually kind of gone against the general pattern of previous World Cups, where I was saying in our predictions video initially that in World Cups outside of Europe, uh, they the European teams don't perform as well, and there's usually like a winner from outside. It's obviously South America normally, and it looked like it was going to be the case, honestly, when the knockouts first started. When we were talking about like Germany and Holland
mm,
getting knocked out, and it looked like it could be like a World Cup for the South American teams. For the African teams, there were so many that qualified to the knockouts, and they all pretty much got knocked out before
yeah.
we even reached the quarters. So from that perspective, it is a bit disappointing. But there's been so many great games.
For the most part, we have the final teams that we thought that were gonna be at this stage anyway.
Yeah, well, it's actually crazy how it's lined up. How the top 4 teams heading into the tournament and who were separated with the brackets are now on course to reach the semifinals and play against
Yeah,
each other.
it's kind of like everything else has been unpredictable except the most important part.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
So
we've
France
well,
already through. Spain, Belgium
France already
tonight.
through. Yeah,
Spain. We imagine. I think
they should
this
100%
could
get
this
through.
see. No, this is like honestly with how like weird and honestly low quality Belgium have been. This would be even weirder than Norway, like crazier than Norway beating Brazil, if Belgium
A
did this to
hundred
Spain.
percent. Yeah,
And
I
then,
agree.
by the way, but even though we say Argentina should beat Switzerland, because of the teams that have caused issues for Argentina, genuinely, this game is gonna be like it's gonna be the game of the quarterfinals. It's gonna be a crazy game, I believe.
Really, I think it's going to be so drab. I think it's going to be like another case of Switzerland just shutting up shop
They will shut up
and
shop, but I'm saying
Argentina
that's what's gonna,
struggling.
but it's gonna play into their hands.
I get what you mean from that point of view. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I think ideally we all want to see something like Argentina, England, and France, Spain, or something like that. Like I know it'd be
I
cool.
will gladly take Norway Switzerland semifinal. Let's do it.
No, man, that'd be so
No, man,
dead.
I don't want to see Argentina, and I don't want to see England.
Why?
I don't like them.
Why he say fuck people? Um,
Give me the bobo.
like yeah, I think honestly, you know, what would be tasty. Norway, Argentina would be tasty. Like I think Norway could dick them, honestly.
Holland would dick them, bro.
Uh,
Holland, Holland. That's a brace.
yeah. Honestly, it's set up for like some like these are the clashes that we were hoping for.
And
As good as some of the other teams been.
I have to be honest, the real final is gonna happen in the semis.
I get what you mean,
In
yeah.
my opinion,
The most impressive team so far.
the most dominant as well.
Yeah. Who do you got if it's France, Spain?
Honestly, well, okay. So the way this whole tournament has played out, I think I've said to you now and my friends several times, this is playing out sort of like 2018 France, where they are like
Mm,
far better than
far,
everyone
far and
else.
away.
Like Spain have not been as good as I expected in the knockouts. So from that point on, France have looked way more
I mean,
impressive.
they haven't had to be that good, honestly.
But
That's
why?
the thing.
3-0 very easily against Sweden. They 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 fought it out with Paraguay. They got the 1-0, and they dominated Morocco. Like Morocco, even though it's only 2-0, Morocco had no chance of winning. They literally did nothing the whole
Yeah, yeah,
game.
yeah. No, I agree. But likewise, you could say for Spain against Austria, completely dominated them,
And
and
yeah, we're
tore
yet to
them.
see what they're gonna do tonight. To be fair,
Yeah, but even then, I wouldn't. put too much stock into them beating Belgium if they do.
We'll see.
Their
We'll
real
see.
test,
We'll
their
see
real
really
test is
who.
gonna be.
We'll see who really is the dominant one when the semi happens.
Yeah, I think I would edge it to France just because they have so many players that are on form
Yeah.
and that can do it against Spain. Spain,
Let's see. Finally.
Yamal has not hit the heights that we thought he would.
Yeah, true.
As well as he's played pretty well. It's not like he's been poor. It's just
There has been quite a
guess
bit of
we're going
focus
off
on
of-
him.
yeah. But other players of theirs have stepped up like Oyarzabal. But either way, I think France have more than like they just have so many options.
Mm.
And then okay, who do you think between Norway and England are going through?
Didn't we say this before? And I said I want to pick Norway in the predictions when they were going to play each other.
Oh, really? Okay. But I mean, just saying like now after everything that you've seen, who would you have going through?
England.
Really?
Yeah, I think they showed something different in the game against Mexico, even though it was crazy and it ended up 3-2. I think they were like they did suddenly that game we saw that they actually hit their rhythm.
Mm.
And obviously so many things happened in that game to like stop them literally dominating. Like not only like a very good goal at the end of the half, the red card early in the second half, it kind of just threw a spanner in the works, so we didn't really see the full 90-minute domination that they shaped up to be because they were just playing so well in the first 40 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But it could happen. That could be the case against Norway, potentially.
Yeah, I think I'd
But the
agree
thing is,
with that.
I genuinely, it's so hard for me to predict now what's going to happen between Haaland and their defense. I don't know how I feel about. Like I don't know, like
That's the thing.
how open is it going to be for Haaland on a transition, for example, at one point in the game? I don't know.
I think I would mostly agree with what you said. I think I would just give it to England based on what they've shown.
Yeah.
But Norway are going to be riding high on a lot of confidence, man, and they have nothing to lose really.
And we're gonna get another Fugazi England final appearance because I think maybe Switzerland will upset Argentina.
Oh no, no, no. I think Argentina still have enough
They're gonna rip it
in
from
the
our
tank.
hands. Us seeing Messi against England for the first time, they're gonna rip it from us because their defense is that shite.
No, I guess I don't know. I think Argentina should go through. It might be a bit of a slog for them, but I think they should go. Anyway, we're looking forward to the last few games. There's only what 6 or 7 of them now. The semis are fast approaching. The final is fast approaching, and
And I'm approaching
we can't wait to
pressing
watch it all.
the stop button on this recording.
Well, with all that said, guys, thanks so much for joining us. Let us know if how you've seen the knockouts play out. Have you enjoyed it? What have been some of the major things that you think we haven't spoken enough about, and how you expect the rest of the tournament to play out? And make sure to keep following, keep watching, subscribing, liking, all that stuff.
Yalla. Thank you.
Anyway, bye.